Practicing yoga on a regular basis will release latent energy that rests in your solar plexus. You will have greater vitality. Your flexibility and suppleness will develop over time, and your sense of well-being will increase. Let's now prepare for today's practice by bringing ourselves into Konasana, happy posture, rising up through the trunk of the body as you sit tall, feeling grounded in both sit bones, resting the arms, allowing the upper arms to drop down away from the shoulders, and just letting the hands relax over the knees. Close the eyes and move inward to have an internal view, to allow for a connection to take place, bringing you closer to understanding your flowing breath. The breath cycle, the ebb and the flow. The inhalation, drawing in air, which carries oxygen, which then feeds, nurtures, and replenishes your body and your mind. It is logical then that good breathing brings about good health. So with your next inhalation, observe it, journey with it. Go into your lungs and experience them inflating, filling with air from bottom to top. And continue then the journey outward as the lungs empty, emptying from top to bottom, and the lungs then deflating as the air exits at the back of your mouth. As you watch the breath, you will notice that a sense of calm is achieved. As you lengthen the breath, this stability increases. You're able to clear the mind and become more peaceful. And from this state of calm composure, your mind and body are now more prepared to release and let go and flow through movement. So let's now open the eyes. We're going to bring the soles of our feet to connect. We'll link the fingers and draw them around the toes. Upavista Konasana, bound cobbler. Feel again grounded into your sit bones, rising up tall in your seated position. Begin to relax and open out in the groins and the hips, moving into butterfly, where we gently flicker the knees up and down. And this really will increase mobility in the hips. Stay focused, stay observant of the breath. You can scan the body and perhaps find any pockets of tension you may be holding on to, and you can allow them to release every time you breathe out. And then let's return to a stationary position of bound cobbler. We're going to move into a forward bend. So at this point, it's quite good to make an adjustment to the flesh of the buttocks. So take the feet in one hand and with the other hand grab that buttock that it corresponds to the side of the body. So on this one we're on the left side, and then release and swap, and you're simply just pulling the flesh of the buttock out behind you and up into the small of your back. And what you've done is you've actually tipped yourself forward onto your pubis, onto your ischium, the base of the pelvic area. So another breath in, and still have that feeling of rising up and extending through the trunk of the body, from the hips up to the armpits, from the lower back up to the upper back. And then as you exhale, hinge forward. And just take your time, follow the breath. Be aware that if you are practicing first thing in the morning, then the back is usually at its more stiffest feeling. Whereas if you practice late at night, the spine by then is already a bit looser. However, this can be practiced at any point during your day or night. Just find your foundation, make your adjustments and alterations. Be watchful. Relax the back of the neck, the top of the head. When you breathe in, think of lifting internally, lifting the pubis up to the navel, lifting the tummy. And then return to a central position. Bring the hands underneath the knees, bring the knees together, give yourself a hug. And then keeping the feet and the knees together, bring the hands to the side of you, and let's just roll those knees from side to side. Keep the knees as close together as you can. There may be a tendency for them to want to open, but if you keep them closed, you'll be using deeper abdominal muscles, and you're mobilizing the hips. And then we come back to a central position. So we've got our knees bent, and we're pressing down equally into both our sit bones. We're going to begin to work our core muscles, our stomach muscles. So let's take a couple of breaths in and out to prepare. And then let's extend our arms alongside our outer legs, reaching our fingertips to the wall in front of us. Let's breathe in, rise up through the trunk of our body. Then as we exhale, reach the fingertips towards the wall so that the shoulders round forward. Tilt the pelvis and pull the tummy in, so you're getting this lovely curve of the spine, so that you will be able to connect each vertebra of the spine with the mat as you lower. Get the chin down towards the chest. You will get to a point where the stomach will just want to collapse and you feel like you just want to flop back. But that's the point where you want to hold it and strengthen it. Until you roll yourself all the way down. Take the hands up and over. Then bring the hands back so that they raise up to the ceiling. Breathe in and lift the shoulders. chin towards the chest and just gently pulse those fingers up towards the wall ahead of you, just aligning with the knees. Small little pulses. Unclench your teeth. Raise the chin, raise the eyes, look upward, look in the direction that you want to be pulsing the fingertips to. And then gently lower down and a breath in, bring the knees in towards the chest and give yourself a hug. Let's bring the hands behind the hamstrings now. A nice deep breath in and roll yourself up. And let's draw the arms alongside once again. Nice deep breath in. As you exhale, get that nice curve taking place. So fingertips push into the wall in front of you. Chin down on your chest. Tilt your pelvis. Pull your belly button in. And lower each vertebra of your spine to connect with the mat. And then the hands come up and over the head. Nice deep breath in and out. Now firmly plant those feet. Feel as if someone is standing on your feet and they're reaching their hands out to connect with yours, and you take a breath in and rise up, and then to the breath out you begin to lower once again. And the hands come over the head, and prepare yourself for that breath in, reaching up, feeling like someone is there to reach your hands and someone is standing on your feet so that your feet stay connected with the mat. And then let's go again, really taking your time to control your stomach muscles. Hands go up over the head. And a breath in, lift. And then bring your legs in and give yourself a hug. And once again, back round to a cross-legged position, Sukonasana. Rest the hands, relax the shoulders away from the ears, close the eyes and tune in. Acknowledge how you feel internally and externally. Solar plexus now fired up. New energy being created. New strength of the core developing. And open the eyes, and let's take ourselves once again to have knees bent, our sit bones into the mat, our upper body weight dispersing itself equally around the sit bones. Now let's connect the hands underneath the legs towards the hamstrings, and it's a simple connection of one hand round the opposite wrist, and then we'll breathe in and let's pick the feet up, moving toward Navasana, boat posture. Another great exercise for developing your core strength. So to begin with, it's all about finding your balance on your sit bones. See if you can keep a nice straight spine here, and to help achieve this, simply draw those shoulders back, the shoulder blades together toward each other, and extend your heart space, your chest, forward towards your thighs. Relax in the neck and throat. Have the chin parallel with the mat. So avoid letting the head drop back too far or having it down near the chest too far. Nice and parallel. And then you can raise those toes to eye level. And just breathe. Gain your balance, coordination and strength at this level before you progress. You may feel ready to progress, but sometimes working in the lower level of the position for a bit longer develops that core strength to a much greater foundation. And then gently bring those toes down. We'll release the hands and re-grip, so it's the opposite hand round the wrist. And a breath in as we take the balance, as we get those toes to eye level. Can we maybe straighten the legs now? Chest forward, shoulders back, shoulder blades towards each other, chin parallel with the mat. Breathe. And then gently release. Bring the hands alongside the body. If you want to continue practicing holding the forearms behind the hamstrings, then do so. If you want to go to the next step, let's take the balance with the hands parallel to the mat, the arms aligned along the sides of the body and the legs. Breathe. Release. Rise up through the trunk of the body and just have a little stretch forwards. Unclench your teeth. Your focus and concentration can sometimes bring the teeth to clench, but you want to avoid that and keep the breath flowing. And let's go once more to Navasana. Can we straighten the legs? And then gently return to a central position. And then for that extra level, if you want to, can you bring the hands behind the head and just lower the back slightly. Breathe. And then bring yourself into a little cuddle. And then round into a cross-legged position. Once again, to have these moments of just checking in. Being aware of how you feel internally and externally. Nice and strong. And now let's do a nice stretch to stretch ourselves out. Let's take our legs wide, and only wide to the point that is comfortable for you and to the point that the legs totally connect with the mat. If you find that your knees have bent and you've got this space beneath, then just close the feet down a little. Again, adjust and adapt it in your foundation. You can take the flesh of your buttocks and draw it out behind you and up into the small of the back. Avoid taking it out to the hips at the sides. Let's have a breath in as we rise up and create space in the trunk of our body as we lift our hips away from our femur bones. Your femur bones here in the thigh, they lead to a ball and socket joint at the hips. so that the end of the bone is like a knuckle and your hip sits on it here. So if you breathe in and lift the hip, you create this space that you can then hinge over, because the forward bend from this position originates in the hips. It's not in the upper body. Most people would just bend like this, but they collapse the ribs down into the stomach, and that actually stops a generous flow of blood, and it stops the energy flow. You really want to be rising up and hinging over at the hips. Take your time so you can communicate mind to body, telling it what to do. The body has the time for realization of what is being asked of it. And through every in-breath, you're able to make greater extension through the torso. You're able to create further space and lift at the hips, to then be able to exhale and surrender. So soften around the neck and the throat. Observe continually how you can draw in and out to create space, to surrender into that space. Discover new possibilities, new potential for greater flexibility, suppleness. Just allow your breath to flow and to familiarize yourself with your alignment, your skeletal frame. Continue familiarizing yourself with your flesh, your muscles. And then gently tracing the fingertips along the legs, pulling the tummy in, restacking the bones of your spine, and coming back to a central position. Take a breath in and draw the right foot in towards the pubis. To the next breath in, bring the left heel in front of the right. Relax the hands over the knees. You can have the palms facing up or down, whatever you choose. Rise up through the trunk of your body. You might like to position yourself against a wall for this, so that you can have a greater experience of an upright vertebral column. And close your eyes to enhance the experience of oneness. You being at one with yourself. Getting to know yourself on a deeper level. Tune into your breath. Be aware of how you can untap the latent energy within your solar plexus found at the bottom of the pit of the stomach. If you were to put your index finger into your belly button and point, then that will be the position of pointing toward your solar plexus. You came into this world connected to your mother by the umbilical cord. That connection remains forever. It's the energy line. So feel it, be aware of it, the continual source of energy. It's there at your disposal, it's free, it's within you. It's infinite. And then we open the eyes, bring the hands together at the heart center. Give thanks for your practice today. Have gratitude for everything you have in your life. Look for the positive, the good. Remember to smile often and emit this great, powerful energy that you have. Emit it to others. Give them it freely, for you now know where your source comes from. Solar plexus. And stay safe in the knowledge that all yoga, whatever level you practice at, is good for you.